Project 95, Side Quests 7. This is a quickie. I drove up to Madison from Champaign, which wasn't a bad drive, relatively speaking, as you've seen some of the drives. So I spent most of this off day just shivering with excitement for the next night, and not only the show, but obviously going backstage. I had no idea what to expect, like what it would be like. I'll tell you that tomorrow. But the anticipation, there was some relief in there, excitement, anxiety, a little nervous. Just so much was running through my body in just counting the minutes, the seconds until, I get to go not only to the show, but to backstage, obviously. So I parked in a mall parking lot and slept there. And then, so today, the 23rd of October, I went in. Remember malls? Yeah. Malls were hot in 95. I don't know what the name of the mall was, but it was in Madison. And I kind of wandered around the mall for a while. Nothing remarkable. Like, I don't remember. I certainly didn't buy anything. And I just remember just loitering basically around the mall. The highlight of the day for me was I took the time when I wasn't driving and I didn't have a show. It just, there wasn't a lot of time like that where it was just like I had nothing to do. I took the time to write letters and postcards home to anybody I could think of. I had an address book. Oh, I should bust that out. Where is that? I had an address book with everybody's address. Mostly for my friends, obviously their school addresses and things like that. So I remember I wrote a bunch of letters. That's, if you look at the initial Side Quest post for today, there's a picture of a, basically it's an invoice from the U.S. Postal Service, because somewhere I learned this scam where you can mail letters for free if you should ever want to do that or need to do that because you don't have 30 cents, basically. So I wrote a bunch of letters. I would hope that someone out there who's seeing this still has correspondence from me from tour. But I don't know. Anyway, each letter I would address to me. So my home address, Ryan Vaughn, Lap Road, Clarence Center, New York. In the return address, I would put the person who I wanted it to go to anyway. So what happened is I dropped them all. That's where it got fishy. It's like I dropped all of these letters, or probably 10 letters. Dropped them in just the mailbox, one of the blue robot mailboxes, and because it looks like a robot. put it put them in there. They go to the post office. The post office gets them, and they're like, "Wait, there's no postage on this. We got to send it back to the person who sent it." So they look. They say, "Who sent it?" Brian Romans from Buffalo. How to get in Wisconsin? I don't. They didn't think of that because it worked. I did it all the time in college, and they caught me on this one. It was, as you can see, it says, "Is Ryan trying to mail these?" That's illegal. I have Hawaii and Washington. That's Spencer and Cooney. I must have been sending, just a what's up letter to them. So I spent most of that day writing, like committing mail fraud is basically what I just some light mail fraud. We've all been there. So running this little mail fraud scam, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, it has to work. They can't just say, oh, they can't get a letter and just say, well, it's, and just throw it out. They had to send it to the return address, which they often did. And voila. So that was that. And I'm sure I was writing about, I'm going backstage. I had called everybody the day before. And I was just overwhelmed with joy and anticipation and all that. All those good feelings. And just also just like, it was like Christmas Eve, but I was 10, and when you're 10 and it's Christmas Eve and you got a room full of presents, and you can't. I remember distinctly, I'm like, I can't sleep. I can't. As gassed as I was, like, I can't even. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm just so juiced about this. So that was my October 23rd, 1995. Went to the mall, committed mail fraud, and couldn't sleep because tomorrow was coming, and I could not be more geeked about it. So that's when I'll see you tomorrow in Madison. Don't be late.